Do you know how to get clients in a predictable way without constant ups and downs? Well, most coaches and consultants actually don't, but after this video you will know, and the system I'm about to share with you generates over $1 million every 2 to 3 months, not only for me, but for my clients as well. And the cool thing about this method, you can get started with as little as 1 hour per day, and I'm not exaggerating or trying to sell you a dream or anything like that. You can do this while having a full-time job or even family obligations. It helps hundreds of my coaches and consulting clients to get to consistent 4 to 5 figures per month, and some of my clients actually use this to scale past the 7 figures, like Kyle, who's doing online dating coaching, or Raul and Christy, who sell freelancer programming coaching. So it's great. So if you want that extra little side hustle to actually work and use this system to make 3K to 5K a month to get started, pay attention now, because I'll split up this video into 3 stages. Plus, if you stick with me till the end, I'm also going to give you an unfiltered, tough love talk, so to speak. I'm going to go from nothing to creating your coaching or consulting biz, then having it run itself, while still maintaining ultra high profit margins. But I'm not here to sell you a dream. Like I said, this will take work. And I want to start this off with a quick story about a guy named Pierre who came to us with super fancy things already in place. He had a YouTube channel with a couple hundred subscribers where he was posting twice a week. He had a landing page. He even tried ads, but guess what? He was barely making 3K a month and he was stressed as hell. Well, guess what? Neither a fancy YouTube channel, nor fancy marketing, nor paid ads is going to get you to your first 3K to 10K a month. In fact, you should stay away from even building a website. Don't waste your time on that yet. Jim Rohn actually once said, success is the natural consequence of consistently applying the basic fundamentals. So let's keep things ultra basic here and go to the most direct path from where you are right now to getting your first clients. So this is stage 1, from 0 to 10K. And you have to realize one kind of uncomfortable thing here. You currently lack experience. So how do you make up for that? Well, you have to compensate for your lack of experience with sheer volume, right? And you can do that by keeping things simple with the rule of 1. The rule of 1 basically just means you need one single offer, you're targeting one single audience, you're fixing one single problem, and you're focusing on one singular platform that you're using to get your clients. A lot of people, they try to spread themselves through way too thin, just like Pierre, right? YouTube channel, website, I gotta be on TikTok, and now the newest trend is up, and now threads, and all that jazz, when in reality, this is something I've seen over and over again. You just need a single platform to get you your first 10K a month, especially valid if you only want to make 3 to 5K a month at first. So please don't spread yourself too thin. Use a single platform instead. Which platform to choose kind of depends on you and the audience that you want to attract and kind of what fits best to your personality. I'm gonna put a little table up here on the screen where you can kind of see, for example, you prefer writing long form articles and you're very much science-based. LinkedIn might be the best choice for you. If you love being on camera, like me, you want to do videos, then first start with short form videos on Instagram and TikTok. If you're more community-based, go ahead and use Facebook, because Facebook has the awesome groups function. If you're more like a forum kind of person, you can use things like Reddit. On a little side note, stay away from using YouTube at first, because it's a whole different beast to crack at first, so I wouldn't recommend it to get your feet wet and your first couple clients in the door. So that being said, all right, choose one platform. How do I get clients though, Max? Well, this is what we call the flywheel hybrid method, and it connects very much to volume. So let me explain the flywheel hybrid method. Basically, your business is like a heavy flywheel, and the faster it spins, the more your business is automated. And to make it spin at first, you need to start posting as well as DMing people. That's why it's called hybrid. It's a hybrid between posting and DMing. And what you're doing now is you choose that one platform and you post 2 to 3 times a week. If you can, post 5 to 7 times a week, but 2 to 3 times is already enough. As you're making these posts, you watch very carefully what the people that are engaging with it look like. Are they in your audience? Do they like it? Do you get a lot of likes and comments, or do you get 0 likes and comments? Well, from that, you gain experience as to what works and what doesn't work, right? And now you're gathering more and more knowledge of what kind of posts will get you the kind of engagement that you want from the kind of people that are in your audience. So slowly but steadily, you will have that feedback loop, right? Like the flywheel that feeds into your knowledge what posts work and which ones doesn't, which means your posts get much better. Now you get much better engagement, which means you get much more information about what works and what doesn't. Maybe you already get your first couple of clients, you find out more about your audience, your posts get even better, and so on and so forth. So the flywheel starts starts spinning faster and faster. Now, all this sounds relatively simple, right? But careful, because at this stage, people often give up because they expect things to be easy, right? They misunderstand simple with easy, and then they try once, and if it doesn't work right away, they just give up. So this stage is simple, but it's not always easy, because you'll need volume and you need a lot of testing to find out what kind of posts work, how to DM your prospects, etc. And that's totally fine, right? That's totally fine. It's just part of the business. However, once you hustle through this, you'll have a pretty decent setup that makes you a couple K on the side, or even 10K a month. That means at this stage, you've already done the hard part, and you can probably even replace your income and go full time with it. But you didn't do all this hard work just to be stuck there, right? Like, so let's take it to the next level. Having a biz is kind of like having a child. You first have to put a lot of work and love into it until one day it can take care of you. But if you slack off at the taking care of it stage, it will slack off when it comes to taking care of you. I mean, even Bill Gates once said, hey, automation applied to efficient operation will magnify the efficiency. The second is that automation applied to an inefficient operation will magnify the inefficiency. So Bill Gates once said that to a whole bunch of tech people. It's cool, but how does that actually apply to us here? Well, what he's really saying is, if you want to automate your business, you need structure and systems first. So that's where stage 2 comes in, which will get you roughly from 10K to 30K. Here you'll need to build systems, right, in order to A, make more money, and B, save you time once you start automating in step 3. Now, you might ask, what do I build systems around? Well, number one, doubling down on what works, which means you want to be posting more frequently, you want to increase your outreach, or you're offering more free stuff to your existing audience already, like, for example, a free PDF guide or free mini video course. And then number 2, you want to find the patterns, right? Everything you're doing in terms of posting, DMing, selling can be systemized. See it kind of like a conveyor belt, right? So what are you putting in at the start of the conveyor belt? Then kind of like what stations does it need to go through, and then what comes out at the end of the conveyor belt. Let's take, for example, posting on social media on that one platform. At the start of the conveyor belt, you probably have gathering ideas where you're scrolling through and you find out what exact hooks that you want to use. Then you have the writing process where you're starting with the hook, and then you're writing the body, and then the call to action, and then you have the creating the visuals around the post, and so on and so forth. So you can see here already, every big step can be broken down into smaller steps, into smaller little stations on the conveyor belt. So what I want you to do is, I want you to write down every single step in the process that gets you the outcome that you want, and then it should probably look something like this. Nice little conveyor belt, one step after the other. And the left side is the beginning of the process, and at the right side is the end of the process. Now, these systems are now building the sturdy foundation for scaling, which will happen in stage 3. But careful, because there's some mind fucks here, all right? Excuse my language. Number 1, ego, which means at this stage, you probably think you know it all. You're making quite some good money, and you're making that because you've worked really hard on yourself. But what happens here is you're closing yourself off from learning. And it's kind of like the learning that's gotten you there in the first place, right? In the beginning, you said, hey, I know nothing. Let me learn it. Let me figure it out. Let me execute. Oh, look, now I'm making a couple K a month. If the ego comes in, though, you're closing yourself off. Don't have that happen. Mindfuck number 2, content. You're probably making more money at this stage than you ever thought was possible. That was kind of like the case for me when I started. Plus, you're usually making more than your friends and family, so it's kind of tough to keep pushing because everything's great already, right? Like, why keep working more? But let's zoom out here for a second. Why are you actually doing this? Because you think about it, you have the potential to not only help yourself, but also help the people around you. This whole doing fine for myself isn't even the goal here. Like, the goal is to do so well that you can support your parents, your family, your kids, your future kids, potentially even hire a team and then pay these people so that they can take care of their families. Like, all this is really, really awesome potential that will otherwise stay unfulfilled, right? Besides, a little side point here too, at this stage, you've done the hard part. Literally, 0 to 10K is way harder than 10K to 30K, so why stop at the difficult place, right? Now, if you don't get stuck in these mindfucks, you'll be able to make up to 30K a month completely by yourself.
Turnow is about 40,000 euros. It's gotten me so many results, so thanks for that.
In the last 30 days, I made 15K. I came from pretty much nothing, and now I translated my passion into a business.
Like, now I know what I did wrong after working with you.
But you're slowly getting to a stage where the real fun begins, and you're making good money, but it's a lot of work. So, to save you from having no time and getting burnt out, I'm also going to give you the exact things to do so you're not trapped in your business and you can experience what I call so-called freak out moment. Freak out moment is what I call this one point in your business where you're starting to get paid more and more and you're doing less and less yourself. It's kind of funny. I remember when I first made my very first six-figure month, 6 figures in profit that is, I did almost nothing. I had my team do almost everything, and I'm just sitting here saying, well, I'm not working anything, but I'm making much more money than ever before. This is weird. There must be something wrong, because so far at that stage, you only know hard work equals lots of money, but now you're doing much less work, but you're making much more money. So it's kind of this freak out stage. And in order to get to that level, this is where you kind of have to realize that a company is much more than just you. So it's basically like you demoted yourself in your own company just to do a couple things that really excite you, and other than that, you're just sitting there and counting the money. But how do you get to that stage? Well, Michael Jordan once said, and pay attention now because this is key, talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence win championships. And that is stage 3, which will bring you from around 30K a month to 100K plus a month, and therefore multiple million a year. But in order to get to 100K plus a month, as a coach or consultant, you need to either be blessed with lots of organic traffic because your brand is already taken off, or you pay to play by adding paid advertising to your lead generation, or you do kind of like a mix of both. But whichever option you choose though, here's what really matters at this stage. You'll need people to handle the higher amount of leads that are coming in, right? Which is why now, more than ever, the number one leverage that will make you more money is, drumroll, people skills. Right? It's no longer about volume and work ethic. You can't hustle your way through the stage. You need to learn this completely new skill of understanding people, hiring, managing, and leading. Just becoming a better coach or consultant won't make a difference at this stage. Neither does just posting more content. So what you're essentially doing at this stage is leveraging other people's time to buy back your own time, right? Instead of you putting in 40 hours a week, you now have 2 people putting in 20 hours a week, or 1 extra assistant who does the 40 hours a week for you, and you're doing a couple hours on top of that, right? You're buying back your own time. And on top of that, you'll want to transition to group coaching as well. Usually people that start with high ticket coaching or consulting, they're doing one-on-one. So at this point, you want to transition into group coaching. A lot of times the problem here happens that people say,
well, but my clients, they expect me. They want to be on one-on-one calls with me all the time.
Look, don't overestimate yourself. Your clients kind of don't pay for you, they pay for the end result. So if you manage to systemize your client delivery part where you're coaching them, you have, videos to back it up, you got a great coaching assistant who does a lot of the, kind of like the newbie answers for your clients. If you systemize almost everything around that, your clients will still get amazing results and they will still have touch points with you in a group format. So, you've got the 3 stages, but I'm going to be real on you with a few things here as well. A lot of people shy away from implementing stage 2 and stage 3 because they think it's scary, right? Don't worry. You've built the systems, and as long as you've done this right, you don't need a lot of people. And I know you're going to have to reinvent yourself a little bit, but ultimately, that's what entrepreneurship is, right? Like, you want to become a better person. You want to grow, right? If you just want to make money, go ahead, invest in some crypto stuff, pray that it works out. But entrepreneurship should always have at its core you becoming a better person and stepping the hell up, and money being kind of like a side effect of that growth, right? On top of that, you want to be slow to hire. Focus on quality over quantity. Everyone at this stage just wants the hiring done. Like, let me just hire the first freaking person that comes around. That's almost like marrying the first person you go on a date with in your life. No, you want to get experience. You want to be slow to hire and focus on quality much more than on quantity. And also, Profitability will still be very, very high, up to 70 or even 80% at making 6 figures a month, depending on where you're getting your clients from. If you hire the right people only though, right? You will literally see how much fun it is seeing everyone work on epic stuff without you, but you need to have the right people in your company, so don't slack off on that. Whew. Now you might think the system is everything that you need to generate coaching clients in a predictable way, and it's kind of true, but there's a few caveats, there's a lot of nuance to this. So this was basically just a general outline, but there's so much more to it. So if you want me to help you figure it out one-on-one to make sure that you get the results as soon as possible, check out the first link in the description down below. And if you're not ready for that, just watch this next video instead. Bye.